Happy New Week and welcome to this edition of Hanging Out with Temi. My name is Temi Ajayi and I've got the ladies with me, Miss Greatness. That's a different one this time. Oh my gosh. Heidi, Soliman, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, and I think I missed you all so much. Really, I think it's about time we catch up. I know it looks as if we don't even live in the same country, but we do. Uh, I miss you all so much. I miss greatness. Your cold.
I am very.
Sorry, how do you know if a black woman is cold? How do their color meant to be look like? I actually haven't noticed how you're meant to look if you're cold as an African woman. Mhm.
I
You
don't know yet.
shiver.
Am I shivering? I'm not. I'm keeping it together. I can't lift my hand for a greeting, and even girls, I'm like, I,
Oh dear. I've been working hard today. I've been carrying boxes, pulling down some walls and everything. So I didn't actually feel the coldness. Anyway, Heidi, you're cold as usual.
Always. I'm very cold always. Yes. And the heater. Have you received your energy bills, girls? Have you noticed how much it is? They have increased in prices a lot. This
wow.
is really, really I don't know, concerning. Like the same time last year, because you get a comparison,
Mm.
in the bill. It didn't cost that much. So have you noticed there is an increase in prices in general, and in the energy bills especially?
People are saying it, but I haven't noticed because I tried to push it to Bumi. So yeah, I'm
Oh, well,
how much
yeah.
am I earning? I've only just started working, so I haven't got my salary yet. So, but seriously, people are complaining bitterly. People are
Yes.
really complaining about the hike in the prices of everything these days. It's really, really hard. But, and we used to give palliative, nobody is giving palliative anymore. But I thought the government was actually going to subsidize for this power bill. And that's what they do in Canada. You have to hit your driveway to get out and all that. So they're subsidizing. And I think Australian government were going to subsidize as well. Salary is not increasing, but everything is increasing. This is really hard.
Yeah.
I just try to cut my coat according to my size in terms of maintenance. I mean, I went to the shop yesterday to buy onion. Small bag of onion is $7. But we buy, which is like 2 kilos of onions. But we
Yes.
normally buy 10 kilos for $10. Now two is seven. How do you manage that? So I'm like, we're not gonna be eating onions anymore right now. Like my it's
Yeah.
it's true. And if we're feeling it, everybody else, of course, is feeling it as well. It's
Yeah,
just I don't know, but
true.
God will help us. Anything else, Liz, you want to share with us?
Oh no. No, I don't really have much to share. I can't wait for us to get into the topic, really.
Mhm. Yeah, it's an interesting topic today.
Yes, it is.
We might be having a guest on the show. Hopefully, she's able to log on. But otherwise, let's go on a quick break and let's relax. Get into today's topic. I'm excited. Be back. Welcome back on the show. Yes, today's topic is why do good men marry bad women and vice versa. I know straight away when I was talking about this topic, I thought about Heidi. I'm like, Heidi is gonna say, "How do you define bad? Tell me what good is about. Tell me what bad is about." But there's a background to this. We have to use the word good and bad for lack of word to put through to it.
Okay.
So the background is what we say good in this term is a man. Let's start with a man that is very caring, domesticated, very conscientious, um, prudent, and a clean man. These are the characteristics of good people. Let's forget about man and woman this time. Clean man tidies the house. You don't need to be reminded to put the garbage out. They put the garbages out. They know that the bed spread is dirty. And then if they cannot do it, they might even mention that next week, I think, are you doing the bedding or am I doing something? They work together, they collaborate together. But this is the man that is always at the forefront of what is next to be done. Traditionally, we think this is what the women do because I mean, I do that. I'm like, okay, next week I have to change my bed linen. Next week I have to empty the bin in the shower, in our bath. You know what I mean? That's what I do. And I thought my husband also, you need to be thinking. If I don't think, don't you think? Am I the only one that have, you know what I mean? But then to have a man that you don't even need to teach, they always do that. And then knows that our baby is crying, it's time for milk. It's the man that is thinking this, So I'm thinking, where's the maternal part? And the woman don't have a clue. But the men, I've got series of people that I talk to about this, and they have, maybe when there's an issue and they come to us for counseling or whatever, and then they say, I knew she was like that. She was extremely lazy. She was extremely unkept. She was extremely careless, as in with themselves, with their health, with the home and everything, and they married them. So why? I thought, you bird of the same feather supposed to flock together. What is the attraction? Why do you marry this person in the first place? And I know when they come to you, they tell you what they want you to hear. But I know that there's an innate, there's something subconsciously or even consciously in their mind when they were doing what they're doing. But now it has boomerang. They're now covering up. But there will be something that will push you to go to in this line to start with. So I thought let's share minds together, and I would like to hear everyone's opinion or views on this. Have you seen one, and then, or do you have an insight into this, and how does that look? I don't want to put forward my own biased mind because I might have one or two people that I know that I'm just trying to be, to work out why I thought, not what they told me, but what I thought might have led them into this. So let's go. Yeah,
You
Heidi.
going, Heidi?
Yeah, Heidi was the first one that came to me. I know she's gonna ask me what is bad, what is good.
So I'm going to disregard the fact that there is bad and good because there isn't. Okay, so let's all agree that there is no good and bad, and there's no right and wrong, and there's no this kind of label does not exist. Okay, so that's something we really need to first of all agree on.
Right.
There is no label because what is good for you might be terribly bad for me.
True.
I was the other day having dinner with my friend, okay, and I had my elbow on the table like this, okay, and I was eating, and then she looked at me, and then she looked back, and then she looked stressed somehow. I don't understand what was going on. She was at my house.
Yeah.
And then she said, Heidi, put your elbow down. I said, what elbow? What does that
Okay.
mean?
Yeah,
And then she said, you never put your elbow on the table while you're eating.
that's
And
true.
I had no idea that that's a thing.
It's
Now
a
she
thing.
stopped eating. She couldn't continue eating because I had my elbow on the table. To her, that's bad. To me, that's nothing. I don't even understand it. Okay. So let's just say that. Now that's number one. Number two, the way our brain is created is that we are most attracted to what we like the most and what we dislike the most.
Say that again. We're attracted to both what we hate and what we like. Oh, really? Okay.
Because what I like, I am thinking and feeling, and I am sending out electrical energy with my thoughts. I'm sending out magnetic energy from my emotions. That's
Mhm.
electromagnetic energy attracting everything that I'm thinking of. And if there is an idea or an issue or a way of being that I'm so against, that's what I'm thinking about. Therefore, I will attract that person. And
Mm.
that's why when people come out of relationships and then they have been hurt or they have been, mistreated or something, they will come out of that relationship attracting the same kind of partner again and again and again. It's like you say, what, you haven't learned? Well, the fact is because they haven't healed. What they haven't healed is that what they haven't really accepted. So they are always in resistance. So whatever I'm in resistance of, I will attract.
Got it. True, true, true.
Yes.
That's right.
So that means, if I am totally against, like if this friend here that I was, having dinner with, if she's so against men, for example, that have low etiquette, she's going to
Mm.
attract them.
Mm.
She's going to attract them because she has repelling energy. Okay. Repelling energy means attraction
Mm.
because you are attracting what you're thinking about. And if you have something that you're thinking about or you're repelling, this is what you're going to have in your life. So, yes, this is what's going to happen. You're always going to end up with what you hate.
Wow.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense. What you repel is what you attract.
Yes.
Because sometimes you might say your father is a drunkard. I hate drunkard. Then you end up marrying a drunkard. My father is nasty. Then you end up marrying a nasty person.
Yeah.
Because that's what you repel. And whatever you think, you become.
That's
Your
it.
thought becomes your action becomes your personality, and it becomes you. Makes a lot of sense. This is why I like this show, because it brings something out of you that might be receded, that but it gives it a name and a shape when we talk about it. That's true. Because I've been thinking about this. Why do good men marry? You said not to say, and I know that, and I know that there's nothing, everything that the Lord created is good. Anyways, he looks at it and he says it's good. So that's why I gave that background, but I just didn't have the word. I just thought, what word will we use to make it, to caption the what we're trying to bring. That's why I use bad and good. There's nothing like that. But I'll go on a quick break and then I will check with Miss Greatness. We'll be back. Welcome back on the show. Still talking about the topic today. Why do well, I have to use the word good men get attracted to not too good women. And Heidi was talking about her friend when she was putting her elbow on the table. Actually, that is like a societal decorum, and it's actually uh, generally not acceptable to put your name or your elbow or even your hand on the table when you are eating. It's what the English people taught us, so we're just following the English uh, decorum. But not being able to eat and having anxiety because of that, what's the problem? You can explain to your friend and just say, and Australia, by the way, we don't follow any of these etiquettes. People are so careless here in Australia. Nobody cares. If you like, you can put your feet on the table. Sometimes they jump on the table and walk on the chair over you, to go to the next table. Nobody cares in this country. So all these etiquettes we really don't follow here. So we're fine. But I understand what your friend was talking about, Heidi. Why do good men end up, please?
Tell me with regards to the example that you've provided. And in line with what Heidi brought out, this is one of the reasons why we say mind your thoughts. Um,
Mm,
because thoughts become things.
mm.
And some of the things do get names, and some of them are called your wife.
Uh-oh.
So, yes. So thoughts become things, and things have got names.
Mhm.
And one of those names is, it can be a husband, it can be a wife.
Mm,
So mind your thoughts is a word that has been, or a phrase that has been used loosely. It sounds like it has really lost its value,
mm,
but it has not lost its impact.
mm.
We see out there how much this is playing out in people's lives, and we can tell that this is one area in which I did not mind my thoughts, because that's the reason why I attracted it. Now, the other aspect that I equally want to bring about is what you mentioned about the social decorum
Mhm.
and generally accepted things. There are, in our cultures, we do have, cultural decorums. We do have what we say it's generally accepted. But what we also get is that the young people who grow up now do disregard some of the cultural practices that enabled people to recognize some of the aspects that we think, if you had really spoken to somebody or probably followed a cultural way of doing things, maybe some of these things you would have known that this is there.
Yeah.
It would have helped you in decision making. You would have been at a place where you say, yes, I know this is there, but still I want her or I want him.
Mm.
If you had followed some of the cultural decorum, generally accepted practices in culture,
Yeah.
um, we sit together as a family to ask for somebody's hand in marriage, for instance. And that is not a process that starts with the sitting together. It's actually a process that starts with you who wants to get married coming to tell your people that I, have this relationship and we are thinking this far. And the minute that conversation starts, you've got so much input about what you want to do, and particularly about the person.
Mm.
Like, if we don't know this person, sometimes, people don't even want to allow you to go ahead. But
Wow.
what do our children do? They say, you can say whatever you say. The two of us will anyway go and sign.
That is
We,
very
we,
true.
we don't want a big thing. No, you can stay home. It's all right. The two of us will just go. We've got our friends who are going to sign for us, and just the four of us will do it.
Hmm.
And then they go, disregarding all the wisdom that could have come
Mm-hmm.
with, these consultations,
Mm-hmm.
and that could have allowed for decision making, informed decision making. So, yes, after you got married, unfortunately, it becomes difficult in terms of how to go and remedy the process that you have now leapfrogged. But
Wow.
that's what you sit with to be able to, work with what you have now and
Mm-hmm.
see how you can, go ahead with life.
Wow.
But if you had listened to some advice,
Mm-hmm.
maybe, you know, you would have really been able to pick up a few things
Mm-hmm.
beforehand. And that's what I would say.
That is really profound because some of the people that I'm talking to, are working with, it's actually it's that it seems as if You know the background. It seems as if you knew what the scenario is with these people, and that's what you've just painted. So it's making some senses really, because what you said is really, really what I say when I have these good, well, seemingly good and bad people work together is because they have not listened to any counsel of the wise. Get a counselor, get a godfather, get a godmother. That is why we all have godmothers and godfathers. That's why we have mentors and all that who can speak to our life. And most of the people I spoke with in this exact scenario that we're saying, why do this one marry? This is what happened. They've gone ahead to the park somewhere with two of their friends and to do this relationship. But we go on a quick break and I'll come back. I want to talk because Heidi was talking about the electromagnetic energy. And I was looking for that aspect. Also, if you want to marry somebody, how does that work? How much does that affect you when you talk about emotion and we're talking about logic? We go on a quick break and we'll be back. Welcome back on the show. Still on our topic. Heidi was talking about the electromagnetic energy, and I think that works a lot in some instances. So, and I think that has to do with your emotion. But when we want to marry, do we use our emotions or do we use our logic? So I'm thinking, what I was thinking is this guy, you should use both. You should be logical and see that is this going to be compatible with me? And or do you just use your emotion and say, now this is what I want, I'm just going to go for it, and that's it, I'm attracted, without using your emotion? And also, at least you're talking about our decorum, about culture. I'm thinking about religion, also aspect, because like as a Christian, I know that in the Bible, when Isaac was going to get married, the father foretell that the son must go to my kind, to my mankind, my family background, to go and marry. And we know that when they send the maid to go and look for this woman called Rebecca, when the Rebecca saw the maid, the how do you call, like the maid or whatever that came from the Isaac clan, to go and identify who is going to be the wife, Rebecca went back to her family and said to the brother, I saw this man by the well. They gave me this jewelry and they said one prince is after me. And then the council of the brother and the family, they said, let the man in. That's the aspect you were talking culturally, but even biblically, we've seen this play out and now it's worked out very beautifully. We're not saying these days and age, every parent is good, which is one of the topic we're going to discuss later on, maybe next week. All parents are good because sometimes their motive as well goes in there. So let me come back. Do we marry logically? Do we marry, emotionally? Because you can say emotion or whatever. So Heidi, how does that play? Because I don't know if this guy uses sense, even if you don't have God. Maybe you use your logic to know that this lady is not going to be compatible. She's very dirty. You're very clean, and she's not teachable. So you can't teach her. You know all this. Why? Is it logic? Is it emotion? I know you talk about the emotion, the attraction. Is that enough? I just don't know.
Temi, can I just say a statement? And I know that we don't have time today to delve into, like, deep into it, but this is something that I'd really consider having one separate show on it.
Okay.
Human beings are not capable of making logic decisions.
Oh,
We don't know how to make a logic decision. Every single decision that we make is basically formed upon an emotion. Anything that you can put in a calculator, logic. Anything you cannot put on a calculator is purely emotional.
Mm-hmm.
Think of all the decisions that you've made in your life that you called them, you thought they were
Mm.
logic. You
Right.
know, there
Yeah.
is going to be an emotional payout. There has to be an emotional payout. There is no, human beings are not able or capable of making a logic decision. So it's all about emotions. Now, there is a beautiful book, that, I wanted to bring up today for the topic. The book is called Why Men Marry Bitches.
So,
Okay. So, Why Men Marry Bitches.
mm.
The
Wow.
line, the tagline is basically men, real men, they want to marry bitches. Now they're talking about bitches, like they're calling them bitches because they're not they're not the good girl. They're not they're not the church goers. They're not, the good, whatever that is. Bitches. Men want to marry bitches. Why? Why
Wow.
is that? That's something that we can explore. That book, we can like do a summary on it next week or something.
I
But
yeah.
human beings cannot make logic decisions. We don't know. We don't have that capability. We can only make decisions based on emotions because every single logic decision feels right somehow, and therefore we make it.
I think you're very right there because I'm just thinking about what's the logic behind me wanting to sell my car to buy a bus. Is it my feeling that I think it feels good? Is it crazy? Is it even a crazy thought? I don't know if that was
Okay.
logic.
At the end of the day, it fulfills an emotional need. At the end of the day, it's all about an emotion, something that you want to feel. People
Wow.
living in this life, doing everything they're doing, making all the decisions they're making based upon an emotion that is needed to be felt or hoping to be felt.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can I add to that, Temi?
Yes.
That is the reason why every marketing campaign targets emotions.
Yeah. Consumerism. Consumerism.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm. You're very, very.
Targeting emotions. Yeah.
Can I say something? You see, I'm laughing my head off. You need to see me here. Like every time we do a show, I'm going through myself and I'm scouting myself. Tell me, which one are you? Which one are you? Listen, I'm getting so much benefit from, because I like to catch myself before I go on this tangent. It doesn't matter if it's a culture, if it's a routine, if it's something that I've always done. I always want to catch myself upon every show. What are you doing? What is I think it's right? Because all men go about doing things what they think it's right in their sight, but not necessarily right. Yeah. But in conclusion, I we agree with everything we've said, that even though we might not be logical, but we have to be uh conscious of what we're doing, as long as your motive is not wrong. The motive behind bad men, like the one of the scenario I painted before, I was thinking this guy saw a girl that thinks is naive, she's just fragile, but she's dirty, so I can teach. Are you marrying to be the person's teacher? Are you marrying to be the mother or the father? Somebody that wants to marry, we always say marriage is not for girl and boys. It's for men and women. It's for matured people. So if you have to teach the person, you need to shower now, you need to brush your teeth now, and all that, and they don't have a special need. If they have a special need, then that's a different scenario. All right. But this person don't have a special need. They're supposed to be full functioning wife, but you're teaching them when to shower, you're teaching them when to change their clothes, you're teaching them how to everything. I don't think they're ready. So your motive needs to be right. So I don't think your motive was right in the first place, and now it's come back to bite you. So we want to say, even though Heidi said no man, and which is we're gonna talk, I'm gonna get the book and have a look at it. They don't have ability to be logically, process anything, and I have to think about what that means, really critically. But you can take it to God, you can take it to counselor, you can take it somebody you trust, somebody that they have a good relationship that you want to emulate. Don't mess away with a girl or with a boy to the park and get married and then come back crying and say she's not your level. You knew that she wasn't your level when you married in the first place. So what was your motive is the question. So I'm just going to leave it. Let everybody go inside their conscience and find out the motive for whatever they do. And then you will find the true answer to your question. I'm finding answers to my questions even right now on the show. How about you? I'm going to leave it there. I think our time is fast spent. So, ladies, any final words before we call it a day?
I'm good.
Very good. We're gonna see you next week. So we'll think about logic and think about feelings, because that might be, I think that's gonna be our topic next week. See you then. Ciao, ciao for
Okay,
now.
Good night.
Ciao.
bye.
Bye.